Hey all, welcome to another top 10, and firstly, thank you for the support on the last one I did, the top 10 low complexity, high depth games. That is surprising me. In what, a week it got to my second most viewed video, and at the rate it's climbing, this is going to be more popular than my top 10 overrated games video. That's a big feat. So thanks for watching it, thanks for all the comments and debate. Granted, there were a few that we're sort of overstepping the mark a little bit and maybe not getting the gist, or maybe raising a few weird points or stuff that wasn't entirely clear from the thumbnail, but unfortunately it's difficult to get the description in just a thumbnail to cater for all walks of life. So in reference to that, I've created a revised thumbnail, and if you appreciate, then I'll replace it with this one. Top 10 games that don't have rules, but for what little rules they have, give you a lot of strategic or tactical depth, but of course realise that all sense of depth is purely subjective based on the individual concern. Although it isn't rocket science to know a game like Mombasa or anything reviewed by Heavy Cardboard wouldn't fit this definition. Also, yes, I know that abstract games have low complexity and high depth, but they naturally fit that definition, meaning that the whole top 10 would be just abstract, and that wouldn't be a worthwhile list for many, particularly those who aren't a fan of abstract games. Also, the list is 10 games I actually like, otherwise why would I want to recommend it? This is why you won't see someone like Concordia on the list, because I believe for that game to be leftover mutated content and basket case free. Seriously, those films are messed up, don't watch them. And this is before you even consider whether Concordia meets the depth criteria, given that all you do is wander around and build in every province and get all excited about trading salt. Remember, it's only a game. There you go, that should clear up all extraneous points. Anyway, getting on with another top 10, yes, I give my Patreons a chance to vote on which one they want to see in order, and the next one in order is top 10 annoying characters. Yes, I know the Dice Tower did it recently, but I thought it was such a good list that I wanted to do it myself. Hadn't thought of the idea, so credit to them for it, but like I say, it was fun watching them do it, so I wanted to do my own 10. After this, by popular vote, we're also going to go on to my top 10 games I like to fail. That's an unusual list, I don't think anybody else has done that one before, so, you know, I'm going to record both of them today, and we'll get those out over the next week or two. So, top 10 annoying characters. What do I mean? Well, I'm talking about characters, races, factions, creatures, whatever, stuff like that, in card and board games that get on my nerves, but not necessarily in a bad way. These can be characters in games that I love, but there's that one character where it's like, curse you, get out of my face. You know, the ones that sort of irk you a bit, or you just can't help but have a go at, or stuff like that, you know, and it's all in a good way. I mean, pretty much everybody on this list, yeah, everything on this list is from games I absolutely love. But there's still characters in them where sometimes you're just like, you just want to take a fist to them sometimes, you know, they can get on your nerves. So, these are my top 10 annoying characters, races, whatever you want to call it. Number 10 is based on a version of a character, and it depends on whether it's evil or nice. However, the nice version is, well, it's being balanced now, but it used to be a bit overpowered and, you know, didn't really work as well. The evil version, though, is the one I'm talking about here, and that's because you dread when this person comes up around the corner, usually in the same way that you hate your boss coming around the corner whenever you're not doing your work. And that's Sandra from Kanban. Sandra, the evil version, is basically your boss. In Kanban, you're in a car factory and you're trying to make cars and design them and test them and stuff like that. And you've got the boss, Sandra, who's another pawn. It's a sort of partial worker placement, and she moves from department to department, clogging up spaces that you want to go to. But when she gets to your department, if she's in nice mode, she rewards you if you've met a certain criteria. And that's very nice of you. But play her in evil mode, which is the preferred way to play this, she penalises you if you haven't met a certain criteria. So it is exactly like trying to dodge your annoying boss at work. It's annoying that she clogs up spaces. Like, I wanted to go there and she's standing right on it. That's annoying enough. But then when she gets to your department, usually because another player has, like, you know, made her leapfrog over them or something like that, or you are forced to take it into account, you know, you need to go to the assembly department, you just didn't have a choice, and then she comes round and it's like, well, yes, yeah, not good enough, I'm afraid. Lose 5 victory points. It's like, you just want to, you want to take a hand to Sandra. And I'm not meaning that in real life, but it's just, oh god, that character. She gets in your way, penalises you victory points, and just like every annoying boss, you want her out of your face. So, starting on a weird touch, but number 10, Evil Sandra from Kanban. Number 9 for me would probably be higher on other people's lists. It may even be the reason they don't like this game at all. However, I still love this game. It's a 1995 classic, I believe. It's still one in my collection. I still love it, with various mechanics and expansions on top. But even just the base set, I'll still play. And no matter which expansion you play, there's always going to be one variant of this character. You're just like, you know, you're going about your day, getting some resources, trading them with other players, and just having a nice day at the market, until suddenly this one douchebag comes out of nowhere and decides, no, I'm going to steal one of your resources. The robber from Catan. Yeah, this guy just, you know, freefall. Firstly, somebody rolls the 7, and you have to decide, oh great, now I've got to get rid of half my cards. Damn you, robber. But then you have the second part where the robber comes over onto one of your hexes, and that causes 2 other issues. Firstly, you get something nicked from your hand. And it's like, no, I need that wheat. But the worst thing that I really hate about this robber is that it clogs up one of your hexes. You've had a hex there, that number 9, where you've got 2 of your things on and it's getting you all the wood you ever need. And nobody's rolled a 9 in ages. So they've defied the laws of statistics and never rolled your 9. The second that robber comes on there, 9, 9, 9. Seriously, it's like, what is it about the robber that attracts the number that you need only when he's standing on there? Some people don't like the robber in this game at all, in the sense that it actually ruins the game for them, and I can understand why. It's a little element of take that didn't necessarily need to be in the game, but I'm used to it. I know it's coming. I have to prepare for it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you don't hate it when that 7 is rolled, and not only does half your hand go if you're hoarding too much, but you also have the robber come to your space, especially when you're in the lead, which means that everybody is sending the robber to your hex just to screw you over. He's annoying. I mean, the pirate doesn't even come into question. Pretty much nobody uses the pirate, even in Seafarers and that. Everybody is still moving the robber because that's the one thing that is guaranteed to get on your nerves. Robber in Catan. My number 8 is from a co-op game I have not played in some time, I must admit. I really need to get it to the table again. But this character is unanimously hated by everybody who has played this already evil, tough co-op game. You know, you probably have a much easier time actually going up against real ghosts than trying to beat the ones back in this game. If that's not enough of a clue for you, then I don't know what is. The game itself is this fantastic Antor co-op, Ghost Stories. And of course, if you know this game, you know the character I'm on about, Black Widow. Oh, I hate her. This is a character where you already have a hard game. You know, you have to roll dice and get the symbols in order to beat back the ghosts. If you're doing that too often, then you're not playing the game efficiently, because ideally you should be using the locations, the Buddha statues, and the tokens in order to beat back certain ghosts. The tokens are basically just colours that represent the symbols on the dice. You just trade them in instead of rolling the die. Annoying thing is, the Black Widow, of which there's 2 copies of her, so as soon as you get rid of the first one, the next one decides to come and say hello, it stops you using your tokens. Great. And then you combine it with another character, I forget their name, but it stops you using the dice. Oh great, so I can't use either. Happy days. You know, it's painful when she turns up, because it also completely changes the tactics that you had in the game at the point. Up to then, you're like, right, you take the south, you take the east, I'm going to do it, right, I'll get this location, I'll keep pushing them back, get those guys back here, whatever they're called, the haunters, you know, push them back, we're good, good, Black Widow's out, kill her! So literally, everything you want to do instantly switches in every person around the table brain. This little switch comes on, and all the anger emotions from inside out appear all at once, pointing the finger and say, kill her! Because nobody wants that Black Widow on the table any longer than she has to be. She's a pain. She's painful to get rid of, because now you can't use the tokens, which means you have to kill her the old-fashioned way, or have saved a Buddha statue for her. I mean, I think you can use the Buddha statues. I don't know, it's been a little while since I played it, but, you know, basically any means that can auto-kill a ghost are usually reserved for a Black Widow that's going to come out, because they're annoying. You know, and that classic thing of, yes, we beat her back, it's alright. Surprise, I'm back again. Stupid Black Widow, hate her. But everybody who's played this game knows exactly how painful she is. I mean, Wu Fang at the end, or whatever his name is, whatever, poosh, haha, you fell over. You know, Black Widow, she's the one that gets on everybody's nerves.
We have found the witch, may we burn her!
My number 7 is from an expansion to this game, and expansions are fair game in this, because a lot of factions would come from an expansion and things like that, and to be honest, it's not really going to change up anything to say that an expansion might have brought in something that's annoying. Now, the game in question is a classic from the 80s that got remade in a 30th edition reprint. It is not one that you should play with your kids unless they are all very good losers. Survive. Escape from Atlantis. Survive Escape from Atlantis is great fun, it's hilarious, unless people gang up on you, that's a bit annoying, but in general, it's a great laugh. Now, I'm not talking about the shark or the whale or the sea monster, they're okay. You know they're there, they go there, and for the most part, you're safe from those, because you're on dry land a lot of the time, so as long as you don't get into the boat or fall into the water, you can avoid those monsters. Not when the giant squid comes into play, you don't. The giant squid was a mini expansion that came out for this. I've got everything for this game in here. And what the giant squid basically does is goes, oh right, I can screw up all your people, I can screw up all your boats and stuff. Oh yeah, and by the way, you thought you were safe on dry land? Yoink! It's like, literally, that's what the giant squid does. It can nab people off the land tiles. So if you're adjacent to it, doesn't matter what land tile it is, if it's sand, hills or mountain, if you're next to the water and the squid pops up, it literally just sort of comes up behind the thing and just goes, hello? It's like, you know, and just suddenly you're like, uh-oh, well, yoink, yoink, and suddenly all your people are nabbed off and eaten. The giant squid is beyond annoying. I love using it because it's just chaos and fun. But yeah, you think you're safe. Nope, you're not safe anywhere on the map anymore. You're in a boat, you can get capsized. You're in the water, you can get eaten. You're on land, you can get plucked. It's like literally nowhere is safe anymore now that the squid is in play. And, you know, I like to stare it down in the face when it's coming at me. But that didn't end well for him, and it certainly doesn't end well for any of my meeples when they get nabbed by the squid. So, hilarious fun. But yeah, just the idea that this monster can now grab you off land tiles, and again, everyone's doing this to you and cackling about it, because that's what the game's like. So on top of the fact that the squid is doing this to your meeples, you have the players using the squid and cackling with glee as your guys get eaten. Oh god, yes. The giant squid is very annoying, but also very fun at the same time. My number 6 is basically your opponent in a game of, hide and seek, effectively. A player controls this character, but the fact that the whole game revolves around you effectively playing hide and seek from this thing in order to survive long enough for a rescue ship to get to you is annoying in itself, because you'll go to locations in order to dodge, where you think it's going to go. You're getting in their heads, and it just plays card after card after card that screws you over or adds more things it searches for or nullifies locations. I know it's the object of the game, but my god, how many times have I shouted at the alien for not alone for getting in my face? It's like, you have to dodge it, because every time you get hit by it, it essentially loses your will and it moves its counter towards victory condition. And I know the whole game revolves around dodging this alien, but my god, it's annoying, because you think you're safe, and then it picks your location and it's like, oh, for crying out loud, and then you go to another location, it's like, there's no chance he'll ever come looking for me here, and he doesn't, except he puts one of his, the big A token or whatever it's called, on your location and nullifies its effect. It's like, oh, fuck, and then that's on top of all the other cards that the alien plays, which basically say, lose this, or you don't get to do this round, and, the player could be hunting you specifically, because he's noticed, you only got 3 cards in your hand and you got 1 will left. You know what? Target. And it gets even more annoying at that point. It's a simple one on this, but constantly you're having to dodge this alien that just, people joke, it's like, it just wants a hug, it just wants to be loved. Well, I don't want to love this alien, okay? This alien is constantly in my face, he's too needy, he just wants to, whatever he wants, it's not friendly, okay? So I want to stay as far away from it as possible. But it wants to be in my face. It's like this consistent thing that's over your shoulder that just will not leave. It's fun, love the game, but my god, the alien is a pain. My At number 5, you'll just have to see a picture on the side of the screen because I'm not getting the whole lot out. But basically, this character comes from one of my favourite card games at the moment, the ever-brilliant Arkham Horror LCG. And Z shares my feelings on this one pretty well, actually, from his one. But what am I holding here? I'm holding my Diana Stanley deck that I'm doing for Mystics for the new campaign. So far, so good. But from the original, I think it was Dunwich campaign, there was a creature that you could fight that basically wasn't... I mean, you fight all sorts of creatures in this game. You fight like giant tentacle monsters and huge demons and elder gods and stuff like that. And you'd think, oh yeah, one of those must be painful and that. Nope. This one is basically this cute little bird. It's just a nice little bird. It's like, oh, what possible harm can the bird do to you? Oh, it doesn't do you any harm. It just annoys the living... It's like Hedwig if it had the voice of the fairy from the Zelda games or something. It's basically a screeching bird that flies over your shoulder or flies in your general area, constantly screeching and getting on your wick, and it nerfs your stats whilst it's in the area. They're called whippoorwills. Whippoorwills, to put it more like. And it's basically a screeching bird that unnerves you. Whilst it's in your location, you get -1 to all your stats. And it's hard enough to pass these tests already without this bird constantly on your shoulder. And like I say, Hedwig with the Zelda voice. Just imagine an owl behind your head going, hey, listen, you know, constantly getting on your wick. Granted, that's not quite as scary as what the whippoorwills are probably doing, but still, it's just as annoying, and I would probably have lack of ability to concentrate on my investigation if I constantly had that thing screeching in my head. It's, you know, so... And the worst thing is, whilst you're having to deal with everything else on there, you can't directly target this zombie Hedwig or whatever you're going to call it. You know, you have... It's because it's aloof. You have to engage it first, takes up an action. Then you have to do another action to bash it round the head with a stick or something. And then it will die. And it will die easily. It's got low stats. But the fact you have to waste 2 actions in your free action turn to get rid of this thing, and it's not even likely to damage you. It's just sitting there in the background, constantly screeching at you. Oh, really annoying. These haven't appeared in the campaign since Dunwich, I don't believe. I don't know if they appeared in Lost Carcosa or not. I know they haven't appeared in Forgotten Age or Circle Undone yet, but, you know, it's a cool creature. Fantastic concept. I mean, if there was an Arkham Horror film or something, I'd love to see these things actually work. You know, it kind of reminds me of the... Oh, what were they called? The Jabberjays or something? I forget what they were called. They were from the Hunger Games Catching Fire. The ones that basically screech at you with the sounds of your loved ones in pain and torture. Now, I forget what they were called. Not Mockingjays. It was something else, but whatever. And, you know, great concept there. This is kind of similar, and it works brilliantly. But my God, as soon as, you know, you're having a nice game of Arkham, and then suddenly all is just put on edge because of this bird! Number 4 comes from a co-op game from Eric Lang, which is pretty hard, based on a very popular IP, based on a brilliant PC game that I have played several of, not the DLC, but I played 1 and 2, loved the game. It can get frustrating as all get out, and certainly there's probably the occasional go back to save point fiasco done, but you can't do that in this game, because you'll just outright lose. I'm talking about an underrated game from him, XCOM. People don't give this one enough love, and granted, I can understand why. People wanted the XCOM game in the board game, and people hate the fact that it's difficult to play this with odd number of players, or, you know, less than 4. I get that, but with 4 players, or 2 players, this thing just shines. Now, the creature I'm annoyed about in this one is a guy called the Thin Man. The Thin Man is an enemy that you can find in, you know, it attacks your base, or it's on missions and that, and you look at it and you go, oh, he's not particularly threatening. He's this scrawny little Roswell-looking like guy. Looks a bit creepy, but he's got shades on, kind of weird. But I think he's got shades, or he's just got dark eyes, something like that. And all he does is just, he's got low stats. You know, what's so bad about him? What's bad about him is the effect text on them. The majority of them, if not all of them, have an effect where the Thin Man, when you kill them, another one spawns in their place, or another alien spawns in their place. Great. As if it wasn't hard enough getting past these missions or defending your base at the best of times, particularly when there's 3 things there. You've only got so much time you can do it because you're rolling the threat die and trying not to have all your guys killed at the same time. But not only do you have to roll in order to beat this thing, which isn't always the easiest thing in the world, you then have to kill something else. And that something else could be another Fin Man, which could spawn another dude, or it could be this huge hulking alien Hulkbuster thing. That means, uh-oh, we're so boned. You know, it's... He's very annoying. And granted, it ups the threat level of the scenario you're doing, but my god, I just want to strangle every Fin Man that comes by, because you just know he's not going to be that threatening, but he's annoying. They have infiltrated us like the Skrulls. Yeah, I'm kind of on the Captain Marvel thing at the moment. And just, stupid annoying Fin Man. I'd rather come up against the big giant alien robot cyborg thing, because then at least I know that when I kill it, it'll stay dead. You know, when these guys just basically go, I'm dead. Tag in. Yep. It's like, oh, great. You know, it's such a pain when these guys turn up, particularly en masse, particularly when you're defending the base from them. Because if you're on a mission, okay, you don't complete the mission as quickly, big deal. You know, it hurts, but you can get over it. But taking damage to your base is not something you want to be doing. It's certainly not with an army of Fin Men doing it. So, Fin Man from XCOM, ooh, shoot to kill. My number 3 I also can't get out of the box because it's in the giant legendary vault above me. And I'm not talking about somebody from Marvel Legendary. Although to be fair, I did consider Onslaught from Marvel Legendary. He's basically a mastermind that nerfs your hand size from the start of the game. Very annoying. But the one that makes this list is the thing that causes one of my favourite aspects of the game. You know, the best way that you can die in this game is from a chest burster. You know, you get a chest burster in you, and it goes in your deck, and as you play through the game, you're on a time limit, because eventually that chest burster is going to come to the top of the deck, you draw it, and then you die. It's the most thematic, amusing way that you can die in a game of Legendary or any card game. How'd you get a chest burster? Oh yeah, this thing! Yeah, the Facehugger from Alien Legendary. Oi, oi, oi. Firstly, it's basically a giant spider that lays eggs in you. That's not something I deal with very easily, being an arachnophobic, and we'll get more onto that a little bit later. But, oh god, these things in the movies scare me to death. I hate these things. The mere concept of them is frightening, and seeing them in the actual movies is frightening for me as well. But, I mean, not even just in this game, you know, the picture itself, look at it! It's horrible, it's horrific. You draw that out of the deck and it gives you a mini heart attack. But this is the thing where it pops up in front of you, and it's easy to kill, but even then you still need a reasonable amount of damage to kill it. You can't just do it easily. But then if it doesn't get killed by the end of the next player's turn, so you put it in front of you, you've got your turn and the next player's turn to kill it. If you don't do it by them, it goes away, you get a chestburster card, you know, that's kind of like the PG-13 way of showcasing it. But yeah, that Facehugger turns up at the worst possible time. You got these other aliens to deal with. You got the Queen hunkering down on you, breathing down your neck, and then this little Facehugger looking dude just pops up and goes, hello, and just says, I want to lay an egg in you. It's, they are annoying when they turn up, they are frightening, and I have lost track of how many heart attacks I have suffered when playing the old Alien Predator PC games. You know, those ones where you could take control of any of the factions, and even Alien Isolation. Oh my god, that one. You know, when you're playing Alana, it's just like, that looks good. That is so terrifying a jump scare that I have had mini heart attacks from this. I swear I have. You know, ones that literally, I swear I've lost consciousness for a few seconds, and then I wake up again, it's like, oh wait, I'm dead. Yeah, it's something like that has to have happened, because oh my god, it's frightening. But when it turns up in a game though, yeah, it always turns up at the worst possible time, on your first turn, or when you're battling the Queen, or when you think you're in the clear, and suddenly it's like, a big army of aliens is at you. It's like, right, come on, yeah, I got my pulse rifle, I'm all ready for you. It's like, they're annoying, but my god, it creates the most thematic way to die in any card game ever, and as much as they're annoying, gotta love them as well. Brilliant design, brilliant concept, terrifying as sin. 2 is definitely unanimously liked. I don't think anybody likes this guy. I mean, they like the concept of the guy. They like the fact that he's in the game. But man, you just want to kill this guy. You want to do horrible, nasty things to this guy. He's your boss, he gets on your wick, and he's not even just annoying, he's also condescending, he's mean, and he's incompetent. You know, why is this guy... This list was basically designed for him. Bob. Bob. Seriously, this guy is a pain. You get there and it's like, oh, you should have been here ages ago. Oh, how dare you? And then you get put into your pod and you're sent off on your mission. It's like, oh yeah, what have you got to do? Oh yeah, so well, this is very important. Yeah, you've got to go find. It's like, and he doesn't even finish his mission briefing before he sends you off. You know, seriously, could you not called us in 5 minutes earlier? And then they don't give you enough time to do the full run, so you have to finish a run, and then you have to put up with the card that says, this is Bob, you guys suck. You know, and he's just giving you, you know, rubbish from that. It's like, this costs us money, and you guys are holding us back or something. He's like, well, if he gave us more than 30 rels or whatever in order to actually do this mission, we might be able to do it. Rels cost us money, you know, and you're holding us back. Well, we're going to get someone else then. I quit, drop mic. You know, it's like, oh, nobody wants this guy as a boss. He's incompetent, annoying, gets in your face. I am just waiting for the scenario where they reveal that Bob is a traitor all along. That'd be great. Or that he dies. Or he leaves. Or something bad happens to this guy, okay? I mean, the fact that the character gets me like this, and other people, shows it's a brilliantly written character. It's like the Joffrey from Game of Thrones, you know. Everybody wants that character to die horrible, painful death really, really soon. But that's because the actor and the writing is so good for that character that you love him for being as evil and vile as he is. It's the same thing for this guy. He's not evil and vile, he's just an annoyance. And he's written so well that you can't help but be annoyed by him. It's like, never gets the mission briefings right. Always forgets something. Never gives you enough time. Has a go at you. Even when you succeed, it's like, well, I kind of expected it, you know, and, yeah, you only just about did it. It's, oh, thanks, yeah, great for the pep talk, you Burke. It's such a pain. You know, I will buy ice cream for everybody who, you know, plays in the next game, just like Tom Battle for the Dice Tower. I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy ice cream the minute that this guy, Bob, gets taken out of this game somehow. I don't care how you do it, but just give him a satisfactory end that pleases everybody in the audience, okay? Do not have a save the universe and then have him be rewarded. No, no, no. I want him as a traitor. I want him to die a noble death, saving our lives or something. Or I just want him... Literally, they could just turn up in a scenario and say, well done on that mission. Oh, by the way, I'm Sheila. Where's Bob? Oh, we had to let Bob go. Literally just something like that, you know. Just like how quickly they get rid of Natalie Portman out of the 4 movies. You know, just something like that. I would be laughing my head off and that would be totally fine. Bob... I hate you! And my number 1 most annoying creature type. Yeah, this one is a collective. And this links back to my number 3. I did consider where to put this on the list. I thought it would be lower down, but I have to consider. When I'm playing a game and I see these other ones like Evil Sandra and, you know, things like the Robber from Catan and a few of the others, I think... they're annoying, but they're part of the game, and I don't mind it too much that I see them. I'm prepared for them. It's difficult for me to prepare for this creature type in probably my favourite card game. Sorry, actually no, it wouldn't be because of Sentinels. You know, my favourite LCG. It's difficult to prepare for this creature type because the scenario tells me I have to include them in there. And then they come out of an encounter deck. And I do not know when they're going to come out of the encounter deck. But I have to flip the card. I have no idea what's coming, and there's lots of them, and this is the downside when you have artwork that's very good in the game because it makes it look more horrific than it actually is. I already said I'm an arachnophobic. This is for every single spider creature that appears in Lord of the Rings, the LCG. If I thought the Facehugger gave me enough heart attacks, the amount of heart attacks I have suffered when playing any scenario in Lord of the Rings LCG where I have to deal with these spiders is annoying. Just because J.R. Tolkien had some fetish over spiders, I don't know. You know, he had some fascination with them. I mean, what, did he just grow up watching Charlotte's Web? You know, did he save one? Did the spider save him as a child? I don't know. It's like, in all of his fantastical Lord of the Rings stuff, why does everything have to have spiders? The Mirkwood cycle for the first scenario is like, you know, like they're all in there. I just had to play one recently. The last two I played, Sands of Harrod cycle, had one where you go under the sand in desert, and you come across these cavern ones and these big like tarantula-like things, and ones that big little baby ones that go after you. It's like, oh yeah, thanks, the stuff of my nightmares, thank you so much. And then the most recent one, you know, again, I have to pop back to Mirkwood, and as soon as the scenario says, you must now visit Mirkwood, I'm like, oh god, they're going to be in there, and it's like, show and behold, you look at the bits that you've got to shuffle into the encounter deck, and one of them is Spiders of Mirkwood. Thank you so much. And sometimes you can't even avoid it. I mean, I get games where I have to shuffle them into the deck and I never see one. Oh, fantastic, yes, yes, yes. And then I get one where the picture's on the quest card, the one that you have to flip in order to get through to the actual end of the quest. And, you know, you flip over one, and it's this giant close-up of a big spider in your face. It's like, it's like, oh, God. Hey, every time I flip one of these cards, and I know they're in a scenario, I'm like, I don't know. It's horrible. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I just really hate spiders. I really hate them. But I'm already sweating just thinking about them. But, oh, my God. You know, and sometimes I'll be complacent in the game. I'm like, right, got to think. Let's see, if Aragorn takes that out, you know, they can take that guy, that Sansa Harris dude, he's going to hit me, I'm fine, you know, we're dying, as long as the goblins don't come at me next go, we're good. Alright, oh yeah, what's my next encounter card? And then I get that heart attack again. I even made a joke of this in an old video I did, where I did an unboxing for the Lord of the Rings LCG core box, and I made a joke about it, where every time I came across one of the spider cards, I cut back to an ambulance, you know, Luke is having a heart attack picture. It's like, it sounds like it's played way out of proportion, but I really do hate them. And yes, it's just a picture on a card, but it's a very good picture on a card. It's basically good artwork. Now, it's different from, I mean, I don't like them in movies either. I mean, remind me, I wasn't a big fan of Shelob, you know, put it that way. And saying that, I still have yet to get past that mission. I have to try it again, but I know that if I go up against Shelob, I'm going to have to look at a bunch of cards that has a giant tarantula on it. It's like, great. But she is my nemesis. I will beat that scenario. I have not yet. It's one of those scenarios that has been, like, killing me off in solo mode, but I will beat that scenario with something, you know. But then I have to look at these horrible pictures of her. It's different in the movies, because in the movie it's just complete CGI. And CGI creates that second filter in front of you, where not only do you have to believe that this thing could possibly exist, but you also have to believe that it's really there on the screen. And CGI has that problem. You know, animatronics get past that, and certainly practical effects or something that's real get past that effect. I mean, for example, watch something like Shelob from Lord of the Rings and or Eight-Legged Freaks, those two movies, right? Watch them, and then watch the original Arachnophobia from the 1980s or 1990s, I forget when it was from. Tell me which one will give you nightmares. Believe me, the original probably did give me nightmares as a child. I have seen that movie several times, and it would scare me even now if I was to watch it. So, yeah, this had to be my number one when I thought about it, because it's the only one that gets me this agitated, this sense of dread flowing through me, and has given me more heart attacks than anything else in existence. I hate them in any game I come across, where they are a potential, you know, character or race that you can take, but the fact that I get certain scenarios in Lord of the Rings where I have to face these guys, believe me, I take such glee when I come across one of these things and I get to kill it off. It feels so good. Providing I don't die of fright by the time it happens. So yeah, every spider creature in the Lord of the Rings LCG. Whew. Whew. Is it hot in here or is it me? So to go into some honourable mentions, and there was quite a few here because it was difficult to even rank these, let alone get a top 10. You know, there was quite a few I could think of. I considered the Parasite from Cosmic Encounter. I don't find it that annoying though when I thought more about it, because I love playing the Parasite. But the idea that this creature is kind of like, oh, you don't want to invite me to this battle, would you? Well, guess what, son? You know, I'm coming anyway. You can't stop this guy from getting in your face. The Assassin from Citadels. If you've played Citadels, you know how annoying the Assassin can get, but it's part of the fun. I think it could be my 11 or 12. It can get annoying at times. The travel agent from Mission Red Planet. You know, some people think, oh, it's the saboteur from Alien Red Planet. No, 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 no. This one is more annoying because not many people actually get you with the saboteur, I find. But the travel agent's the one where you use it and then you find you can't fit your guys in the space shuttle. That's more annoying. The familiars from Seasons, you know, the ones that zap your points. The panda from Takinoko, as much as I love the Takinoko and the panda, when it eats the tree that you want it to grow, it's annoying. The Heat from Spectre Ups shoots through walls and can see through walls. Yeah, that's not annoying at all. The Doppelganger from One Night Ultimate Werewolf, you know, as if you're not already impatient to get through the night phase with all the characters, you then have to repeat H1 a second time because of the rotten Doppelganger that's in there. I already mentioned Onslaught from Marvel Legendary. What else was there? I put the Pro Boss from Kalis. I wasn't going to put games I didn't like on the list, so yeah, Kalis wasn't going to make it. But yeah, if you like Kalis, you know that Pro Boss is annoying as anything. And Sentinels in the Multiverse nearly made the list with Spite. Spite being my least favourite villain in the entire set, because Spite basically comes out with these drugs that give him special abilities, and certain combinations of those drugs make the game impossible to win. It's, like I say, I'm not saying the game's perfect despite it being my favourite game, but yeah, Spite is one of those villains where it's like, do we really have to fight this guy? You know, it's not a big favourite. So yeah, there was quite a few on there, but I had forgotten about one that my Patreons thought of. And this was a really good one. The Saboteur from Dominion. And, you know, most people who have played Dominion enough to remember this card will know why this one's annoying. It's been a while since I played Dominion, and I rarely use this card anyway. But yeah, easily to see why this one's bad, because it basically makes you reveal cards from your deck until it kills anything that costs 3 or more. And that's a lot of choices it's got. And then you have to take another card that's 2 less than it. So basically, it goes through your deck, finds the next decent card you have, kills it, and forces you to take some pile of trash. It's just annoying. I mean, yeah, you can defend it with stuff like the moat and that, but this is an attack card that just slows the game down because you're trashing the engine that people have in their deck and almost resetting the game constantly as the Saboteur keeps coming into effect. Yeah, pretty much most people who play Dominion refuse to use this card. I don't like this card either. I'll never use it. Tom Vassal never uses it. It's just one of those attack cards that was just a bit too powerful or just that bit too annoying to get used. So yeah, that was a pretty solid Patreon choice all round. So yeah, my top 10 annoying characters, factions, races, creatures, whatever. You know, I've just said characters on the thumbnail. Again, do I really have to do another long thumbnail to cater for everything? You know, it's going to be one of those ones. But I want to hear about yours in the comments because I think this will be hilarious to talk about. You know, do you agree with any on this list? Did the ones on my list give you some other stories or heart attacks? You know, that or brain hemorrhages that basically made you really hate them? You know, how much do you really detest Bob from Time Stories? And most of all are the ones that I didn't mention, not even on my short list, that you can think of that I should have considered because maybe I don't find them as annoying, maybe I just haven't played the game and seen how annoying they are, but I want to hear from you guys. So, if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel as normal, catch me on Facebook and Twitter, and sign up to my Patreon campaign if you can. We are this close from a net after fees figure of $150, which means that sooner or later, you as Patreons can vote on what game you want me to review next. And I don't just mean, oh, here's a list of games and I'll review it. No, I mean if I have not reviewed the game, I will go out and personally buy said game and review it based on your requests. You know, the money from the Patreon will get used to buy that game, I will do the video, and I will do the review. Come on, that's gotta be pretty good, right? Until then, I'll see you on the next Top 10, which will be Top 10 Games I Love to Fail At. I don't know if anybody else has done that list, so I hope this one's going to be a pretty unique list. Anyway, thanks again. Love the support on the last list. To see it surpass top 10 overrated games will just be insane. I never expected it, but it proves that you guys like these top 10 lists, and I'm happy to do them because I love them as well. Take care, and remember, no matter how many heart attacks you suffer, it's still only a game. So sleep easy, okay? Take care.